Hi. We are going to start right off. Shar has some breaking Halloween news here.
Breaking news, yes, it's candy. The National Retail Federation said that Americans will spend $3 billion with B on Halloween candy this year. And these are the top 10 candies. Number 10, believe it or not, is candy corn. Number 9, Tootsie Rolls. Number 8, Snickers. Number 7, Hershey's Kisses. 6, Sour Patch Kids. 5, Hot Tamales. 4, Starburst. 3, M&M's. 2, Skittles. And number 1, ta-da, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Yay! That I'm missing that I would have liked to see, but all right, Casey, back to you.
Now we are going to switch gears to something a little bit spookier. Patrick, you have a story for us.
So given that it's Halloween, I thought I would actually share a story of what might potentially have been evidence of an apparition of some kind. So, as some of you know, was born in Montreal, Canada, and just about 3 hours south, there is a little village where the 80s never died, and it's still like this. And I'm now able to share this with my kids. They have old school arcades, one of the last original A&W, where you can get car service and the big frosty mugs. They also have a really, really old fort that goes back to the French and Indian Wars, before the US was even a country. What you're seeing now is a picture that I took in 2018, so on the ghost tour. And they say that what some of the more common apparitions you see are little orbs. I was not expecting to see anything. Going through about 30, 40 photos over the 1 hour tour back in the motel, I see here what appears to could be a spiritual orb, an apparition orb. It could also be a big fleck of dust when I took the photo with my flash. Essentially, 1 year later, the family, kids and I decided they wanted to do the tour again. And next year in 2019, exactly the same tour, just with a lot more rain, things get a lot spookier. It's the exact same spot you're going to see here. About a split second before this photo was taken, it was just a black hallway, and I didn't use the flash. And again, this is 1 year after the first photo. But what you can see, we may be able to compare it to the photo with nothing in it. But if you zoom in to the top left, you see what reasonably does look like a person in the shadows holding a very old style candlestick. That's what it looked like literally a split second before. I did a sort of a 1, 2, 3 on my mobile phone. There were 3 photos. The third one looked like this. It's just, I lost it. It's deleted. So now there's only 2 of them, but I did do a 1, 2, 3. The first and the third look exactly like this. Pitch black, top of the stairs, no flash. The one in the middle, however, it still creeps us out because it looks like a shadowy figure with an old school candlestick. I never submitted this to the fort. They like people to send it in. I just figured, maybe it was a distortion. But the more I've looked at it over the years, and the more I've shown it to other people, they've been pretty clear that it's really creepy. And especially since like the photo on either side of it, and literally we're talking a split second. I couldn't have edited this if I tried. It's creepy. It's really, really creepy. And the upstairs, it was essentially where the officers slept. So the soldiers had other places, but that was a spot where the officers slept. And it's almost like coming out with the candle, like, why are you guys bothering me? Like, let me sleep. There's a battle tomorrow. We're all going to die. At least let me get to sleep, right? It may actually be a spooky bit of evidence for a real apparition. I don't know. I can't tell you, but it certainly looks weird and creepy.
It does. That does look distinctly creepier. Do you know whether people see the same thing, or do other people see the same thing, or do people see different things when they go?
So a lot of, they say a lot of orbs, and they have like an open book of orbs. There was one of a little kid that sort of like camp follower, helped the British officers shine their shoes. There's a few that sort of resemble a small kid, but that was on the level where I was taking the photo, not upstairs. And I certainly never saw a kid. I can relate to you what 2 of my 2 kids said though, because my younger son laid on a table that they had used to perform field surgery. And they say, if you lie on this, and if they choose to do things, you may feel like sore, headachy, cold. And when we got back to the motel, he was under blanket saying, yeah, I feel cold, headachy, and sore. And the other one felt sort of like a scratch in another place where they say there's a guy, like he was, I think he was sort of like a cowardly guy. He was hiding out under the stairs and didn't want anyone to find him during the battle. And now the people who do the ghost tours claim that if you annoy him, he can sort of grab at you or scratch you. And my older son said he felt that. I don't know if he just wanted to compete with his brother. It didn't look like he had a scratch on him. I can't tell you. The more I've looked at this over the past 2-3 years, the more it looks like it is actually something, but I can't confirm.
That is certainly creepy. Look at that. So I can quite easily make out a candlestick, and then above it is a face, like a mask, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like a face holding a candlestick.
Wow. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's certainly creepy. That would probably freak me out quite a lot if I saw that.
And all I can say is that the time was 1, 2, 3, like on a phone. It wasn't like 10 minutes later. It was 1, 2, 3, and there was nothing on either of the other two, as you can see, based on the one I still have. That
is astonishing. Are you susceptible to ghosts, to apparitions?
I don't know. I haven't seen too many like this. Like, this was sort of the first thing. I certainly would say I've been in situations where things have just felt off. Don't normally see apparitions at all. This would probably be my first. But yeah, I'd say I'd certainly been in situations where like, no, we should probably just move out of here now. But that's the
spooky. That's crap. That really is. I'm not susceptible at all. Nana is. Nana's incredibly sensitive to that. I think people fall into sensitive and insensitive brackets, and you can be standing right by each other, and one person can feel something, and the other person not at all. We were looking for a house one day on the same road we eventually bought the house. We didn't buy a particular house because she felt incredibly troubled when we went upstairs in this one house, and it happened to her immediately we walked in. She was literally kind of holding on to me as if there was a kind of a fierce wind blowing. And I was like, what on earth's going on? And she's like, this is really not okay. We were like, okay, so we didn't buy that house, but she was incredibly sensitive to that. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's really, really interesting.
It was so spooky. Thank you so much for sharing. And sorry.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Now, more breaking news with Shar.
Breaking news for anyone who has used ketchup as blood. This year, Heinz has embraced the use of their product, creating a tomato blood. Tomato blood is available now in stores. And they also have a Halloween pop-up in Santa Monica, California, where you can create your own Heinz ketchup blood costume using their interactive drip stations.
Oh,
you can't get there. Gross. They have an online stream, and you can make your own bloody costumes.
That is just gross.
Susie is going to tell us all about how Halloween is celebrated in Poland.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
We do not really call it Halloween. It's completely different. It's a little bit less festive, but it's connected with this idea of death and celebrating those who have passed away. So there is kind of a connection. Halloween, or All Saints Day, as it is referred to as, Dzień Wszystkich Świętych, takes place on November 1st. There is actually two holidays that are celebrated. First is the All Saints Day on November 1st, and the All Souls Day that accompanies it, which is on November 2nd. All Saints Day is where people from Poland go visit the graves of their loved ones. They decorate it with flowers and votive candles, and also lanterns, which you can see the pictures of. And here you can see pictures of those lanterns that are put on graves. They're typically made of glass or colored plastic. It comes in different colors, different shapes, and different sizes. And typically after the day has passed, it looks really beautiful. If you go through a cemetery at night, it looks very gorgeous, very beautiful. Now, when it comes to the celebrations in the past, here it's a little bit more complicated because we have a lot of more customs that follow that. In the artistic depictions here, you can see the people coming to graves of their loved ones during springtime after Easter. So the celebration that took place in autumn and fall, it was referred to as Jadi. The word jadi comes from the word jat, which generally means an older person, an elderly person, or an ancestor. And here you can see some artistic depictions of the souls coming back to life. So when the souls come back to life on that very day, what do? Well, you have to welcome them into the world of the living. And as you can see in one of the pictures, the feasting could be celebrated, for example, at the cemeteries near the graves of the departed. Sometimes they would also pour drinks over the headstones of the departed. So the fires were set up near the cemeteries or places with bad aura, so to speak. And here you can see some examples of the food, of the drinks that were provided. So in the slide, you can see the masks that were typically worn by the living. Those masks are referred to as kraboszki, and they were worn basically to protect the living from the evil spirits. But on the next day, they had to be burned in the fire. Basically believed that if you kept them wearing too long, you may scare away the good souls. So that's basically how Halloween is celebrated in Poland.
That is just fantastic, Susie. Thank you so much.
That was so cool, Susie. Thank you. And keeping with the theme of looking at traditions, now we're going to pass it over to Anya and look at how Halloween is celebrated today in Germany.
In Germany, we celebrate Halloween a little different than, for example, in the US. Here you will only find a few children who go door to door trick-or-treating, even if it have been more in the last few years before COVID. But here in Germany, people are still very cautious, which is why I don't assume there will be many kids trick-or-treating this year. Here, Halloween is a holiday mostly celebrated by adults at themed costume parties and clubs. For us, Halloween has less of a cultural meaning, but it's more kind of an extension to the German carnival. It's, for example, in this picture, it's with a lot of colorful costumes and wagons, and we throw candies to the children and people standing in the streets. It's a kind of procession of sorts. But we also have something similar to Halloween. It's called St. Martin's Day. St. Martin's Day is a holiday that follows under 2 weeks after Halloween on November 11th. This is also the day the German carnival starts. On St. Martin's Day, children walk around the neighborhood with lanterns, singing songs and reciting poems in exchange for treats. You could probably say that Halloween is celebrated in the US as a kind of mixture of the German carnival and St. Martin's Day for us. But for my part, I've been going to a club for a Halloween party with my friends for a couple of years now. So
Wonderful.
Have you any questions?
Do you know where this derived from? This because obviously not. I don't think you borrowed it just from another culture, but this is uniquely German.
The carnival started first during a little bit before, I don't know what it's called in English, Nationalsozialism. People and comedians started mocking the military. It's why the uniforms of the girls who dance during the carnival look like military uniforms. And they were kind of mocking that. And there were a lot of comedians and satirics who would perform at shows, and the dancers originally were male and not female, but they were still wearing skirts and stuff. So they weren't very popular in those times, and many of them were jailed or killed.
So it's a
that's
deeply
where this
satirical
comes
movement.
from.
Yeah.
Yes, it's still today. The wagons are always political, mocking politicians.
Our kids at school taught about the origins of St. Martin's Day and the origins of Carnival.
We celebrate it at school. Mostly St. Martin's Day is celebrated in kindergarten and elementary school age and carnival all through the ages, from like 1 to 80, everybody's celebrating.
Cool. That is fantastic, Anya. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's really amazing. It's beautiful lanterns. What a lot of work. The whole family will get together to make these lanterns?
Usually we did them at kindergarten or school with our teachers and our friends together, and every class would have a theme for their lantern.
Well, I see a Leaning Tower of Pisa right there. It's amazing. It's gorgeous. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Thank you, Anya.
Thank you, it was my pleasure.
Thank you so much, Anya. That was fantastic. I had no idea about the lanterns. And now back to Shar for more Halloween news.
And in Halloween news, costumes, yay! In the US, the top 5 costume search terms are Cruella de Vil, Spider-Man, dinosaur, rabbit, and witch. The trending costumes for 2021 are Venom, Carnage, those are both Spider-Man villains, Britney Spears, also a villain, Gorilla, and Squid Game.
Squid Game.
Trending Halloween kids costumes are number 5, the Addams Family, 4, Peter Pan, 3, Spider, 2, Little Red Riding Hood, and number 1, yep, it's Squid Games. And finally, for people who like to torture their dogs, dog costumes for 2021, lobster, donkey, vampire, race car, that's really bad. And of course, number 1 is Squid Games again. Now we're gonna go to Sid.
This is another poem from childhood's hour. I have not been as others were. I have not seen as others saw. I could not bring my passions from a common spring. From the same source, I have not taken my sorrow. I could not awaken my heart to joy at the same tone. And all I loved alone. Then, in my childhood, in the dawn of a most stormy life, was drawn from every depth of good and ill the mystery which binds me still. From the torrent or the fountain, from the red cliff of the mountain, from the sun that round me rolled in its autumn tint of gold, from the lightning in the sky as it passed me flying by, from the thunder and the storm and the cloud that took the form when the rest of heaven was blue, of a demon in my view. A lot of people will know who wrote that, and the poem is called Alone.
So creepy. Thank you for that.
Very welcome.
There. And now, for a complete change of pace, we are going to kick it off to Kirsty in Scotland to hear about how Scotland traditionally celebrated Halloween.
Yeah, like a lot of people have already discussed, Halloween does have a lot of sort of pagan and Celtic origins. I'm going to rattle through that part quickly because folk have already touched on it. And also there's some hilarious pictures of what people used to get up to in the mid-20th century in Scotland during Halloween. It's all weird. The day of Halloween falls halfway between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice, and it originates in a Gaelic festival. And the earliest reference I can actually find for Halloween is an early Irish literature from the 9th century, and is marked by great gatherings and feasts, and it also coincided with the opening of great burial mounds that were seen as portals to the other world, which, you know, is sort of interesting. It seems to have like a sort of symmetry with what was going on in Poland that we heard about earlier. It's still a festival that's celebrated in the modern day. There was a renaissance of it in the late 20th century, and every year in the Scottish capital of Edinburgh, there's still a big celebration where it's celebrated by Celtic neo-pagans and Wiccans. Over the last couple of thousand years, the church sort of moved into what we now know as the UK, and in a bid to assimilate itself with traditional sort of pagan and Celtic traditions, it would sort of align its festivals with and its celebrations, which, you know, there's lots of reading to be done about how they adapted existing celebrations to fit into their own calendar to then encourage people to join the faith. So this is where it gets weird. Historically, people would light bonfires to keep away evil spirits. Before we even knew what pumpkins were, we used to carve faces into vegetables like turnips. I believe the English used beetroots. In my opinion, to be honest, the turnips are a lot creepier than pumpkins could ever be. Also, we know them as jack-o'-lanterns, and I was doing some reading on the origins of jack-o'-lanterns recently, and the story's hilarious. There's basically this guy called Stingy Jack, and he invited the devil to have a drink with him, and true to his name, Stingy Jack didn't want to pay for his drink. So he convinced the devil to turn himself into a coin that Jack could use to buy their drinks. Once the devil did so, Jack decided to keep the money and put it into his pocket next to a silver cross, which prevented the devil from changing back into his original form. Jack eventually freed the devil under the condition that he would not bother Jack for 1 year, and that should Jack die, he would not claim his soul. The next year, Jack again tricked the devil into climbing into a tree to pick a piece of fruit. Whilst he was up in the tree, Jack carved a sign of the cross into the tree's bark so that the devil could not come down until the devil promised Jack not to bother with him for 10 more years. Soon after, Jack died, but as the legend goes, God would not allow such an unsavoury figure into heaven. The devil, upset by the trick Jack had played on him and keeping his word not to claim his soul, would allow Jack to wander the earth for all eternity. And he sent Jack back off into the dark of night with only a burning coal to light his way. Jack, the legend goes, put the coal into a carved out turnip, and he's been roaming the earth ever since. So the Irish began to refer to this as Jack of the Lantern, which then eventually became Jack-o'-lantern. So long story short, he didn't pay for his round and he got left out in the rain for it. Let that be a lesson to people who don't pay for their round at the bar. Another sort of wacky Scottish tradition is this thing called apple ducking, which in a post-COVID world, it's kind of disgusting. But essentially, I think you guys in America call it apple bobbing. And I actually heard about this from my grandfather as treacle scones. I heard about this from my papa. They essentially, way back when, would coat scones in treacle, hang them from a string, and you have to try and eat them again without your hands. And you can tell this picture is very much of the sort of 50s and 60s because the kids aren't allowed to do it without their tops on because their mums are washing everything by hand back then in a wash house that we call the steamy. And I can only imagine what their parents would have done to them if they came home with treacle all down their shirts. So yeah, apparently this was a thing. We don't do it anymore, which is a shame. It looks like it would have been great fun. Another sort of older tradition, my granddad didn't know about when he was a kid, as grandparents themselves used to do. So talking like late 19th century, was a ritual called nut burning, where a lot of single women would basically get together. They would designate a hazelnut for each of their love interests, toss them into a fire, and the one that burned the least violently would represent the woman's future betrothed, because apparently Tinder wasn't an option. Trick-or-treating, don't know what that is. That wasn't a thing here. It was a tradition that we called guising, and it was basically kids would go around wearing costumes, pretending to be malicious spirits. So there was no Spider-Man, no Captain America, no Little Red Riding Hood. You're a malicious spirit. That was your one option. By disguising themselves, they would blend in with any wandering spirits outside and remain safe from harm. And then after performing a series of tricks and songs, they would get gifts from the houses that they visit to help ward off evil spirits. You had to earn those sweets, so you better have had like a full song prepared. Kids were rolling up with like the recorders from school in their back pockets, ready to do like a whole performance. just to get their hands on some sweeties, which, you know, were a luxury. It was like kind of a hard-earned thing. Like, you didn't really have like candy every day as you could get now, but back then people didn't have a lot of money to kick about. So the thought of actually being able to go out and earn a bounty of sweets was really quite an exciting thing. So yeah, they worked hard. They worked hard for their candy when they were guising. And yeah, that's about it.
I love guising. I love the fact that kids had to work for their candy.
Had to earn it.
We should bring that back. Do something really cool and you will get some candy. Otherwise, stroll on, youngster. That's wonderful. It's also much healthier. You actually have to do something.
Yeah.
You know what? There's a theme emerging here from all these different nationalities and the way they celebrate Halloween, and that is the celebration of the dead, the departed, because all these spirits were obviously people knew. I mean, who are no longer around, and especially obvious in the Polish culture there. But I think we need to get back to remembering our loved ones who are no longer with us, which seems like a really good use of Halloween.
So yeah, I think it's definitely worth, because it's not that if we don't remember these things, they end up being forgotten. So I think it is absolutely something we should try.
Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Thank you, Kirsty. That's fantastic.
You're very welcome.
Really terrific.
That was awesome. And yeah, the turnips definitely broke my brain when she showed me the first time. And then
she laughed so much. It was.
Now, Mel, I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right, we are ready for a more interactive activity. We're going to play a game. Several people have sent in photos of themselves in costume as children.
I love games.
Yes, 25 photos that we're going to look at. Yep.
I've got to get another piece of paper.
Yeah, people came through.
This is too small. Yeah.
You can either identify the child in the photo, or you can identify their costume. I think the second one's probably going to be easier, but if you want, you know, that like higher level of difficulty, tell us.
I think you'd need an eidetic memory to remember all 200 of us.
Well, there's only 25. So let's get started. It's our first person. Tell me who that is, or alternately, you can identify what their costume is. All right, number 2, number 3, okay, number 4. This is a twofer. I feel like most people should get this. So you're identifying Darth Vader and Yoda, and then this is R2-D2, who we have not met, but we have heard about. Oh yeah, I just gave away who those were. Oh well.
You kind of did. Yeah. That was
There's
the
some
only bit
This is a freebie photo. Yeah. This is a freebie photo. So you're identifying the person on the right, or what is their costume. Number 6. Number 7, you're identifying the person on the right. I'm going to give you a hint. This is a gender bent costume. Number 8. Again, we're going for the person on the right, the tallest person. I like how this one, they're in order of height.
They are.
Yeah. Number 9. Number 10. This one's pretty tricky. Number 11. This one. Come on now. You guys know who this is. Number 12.
It was so adorable.
Lucky 13. You're identifying the person in the middle. Number 14. 15. We get another where we're identifying the person on the left. Number 17, the clever hair. 18. Nobody's going to get this except the person who submitted the photo. Okay, we're identifying the person on the left, and this is one of the photos that I can see the adult face on this person. Number 20, somebody who is either already done with trick-or-treating or is just getting ready to go out. Who is this person, and why are they wearing their shoes on the wrong feet? All right, now 21. Who is this person engaged in a tradition that Kirsty just told us about? Okay, another sibling photo. We're looking for the person on the right. Number 23. I like this one with the spooky shadows on the ground, adding some ambience.
I think I'm finally understanding how people feel doing my quizzes now.
24. And finally, who is the person on the left whose sibling is making a break for it and whose parent is about to catch them?
And we know who he is.
True. So we're not guessing his character.
No.
Written
I
on
wish everybody had it written on their chest.
Well, let's see how you did. It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to shout them out.
Number 1. It's Jennifer.
It's Jennifer.
Here.
It's Garfield.
Number 2 is Shar.
I got Rocky Horror Show guy.
Did anybody get number 3?
I had cutie pie because I thought that handle was the pie symbol.
Oh,
Yeah, I thought I've got pie.
Brave little toaster.
Brave little toaster.
Brave little toaster. That's Rose.
Okay.
My mom made it. And it was my favorite movie and still one of my favorite movies.
Okay, number 4 was our twofer.
Zoe
Oh,
and
yeah.
Vanna and Zoe.
Yeah,
You and Zoe,
absolutely.
the twins. Okay, number 5. I think probably only the person who submitted it got it. This is Sarah Kay dressed as an old lady. As a grandma. Yep. All right, I gave you a clue on number 6. This person makes costumes, and this is one of their early endeavors. It's Crow.
It's Crow.
Okay, number 7 is
A pink
One more.
lady.
illustrious
one.
hosts. Casey, the wizard.
I put Hobbit Wizard.
I put Russian Orthodox priest.
Sure. All of the above. Sure. My favorite part about that was when you did with like that with the staff, that there was a battery in it and it made a thunder sound and the top lit up.
That's awesome. We have another wizard here today. Okay, number 8. Did anybody get number 8? It's
Couldn't
Mary
figure this-
Nizinski,
Could not figure that out. Ah.
and she's a hippie, she thinks.
Remember, this was 1971. I was a product of my times then.
Yes, you were.
I'm a hippie anti-war protester, I think.
Number 9,
I thought it was.
Mallory.
Oh, I thought it was Spock. I guess not. Spock is blue. He is blue. Top.
Yeah,
No.
Spock is in blue.
Jordy
I
LaForge
like
is the
how
only acceptable answer.
Okay, number 10. This was really hard because this person has not spoken with Sid directly yet. So you were doing really well if you got this. This is Apollo.
I put Bluebeard. Is it Bluebeard?
I was horrified of feathers, so it didn't have any feathers, but I had a little hat.
Oh, it's adorable.
All right, number 11. I hope people got this one because Randy still looks like this.
Randy.
Oh yeah, yeah. Hasn't changed much.
Hasn't changed.
And I think Uhuru.
It's Captain Kirk.
It's Captain
I
Kirk.
actually have a new version that I made that's like got sequins on it now. So like not much has changed at all.
All right, number 12 was a creature of the night that I would never have identified myself. Molly the vampire.
That is awesome. Astonishingly bad at this.
Okay, 13. Did anybody get it?
It's me.
It's
you.
No.
I have no recollection of putting the makeup on. I did not recall that was part of the costume. But those are my 2 brothers with me.
That's so sweet.
All right, 14. Anybody get 14? Shay the dragon.
Yeah.
All right, number 15.
Sylvester the cat.
It's Alyssa. Alyssa, what are you dressed as?
I'm just dressed as a generic cat.
16. So this was somebody whose costume maybe would have been a clue. Did anybody get it?
I put Cinderella.
It's our favorite dancer, Leia, a can girl.
Oh.
The other person is in the social club as well.
Oh, you didn't identify them.
That's because nobody's figured it out yet. It's been an ongoing secret.
Okay. 17. This one's also tricky.
Pippi Longstocking, and I
That's
guess
what I've got.
Totally Pippi.
I've got Pippi
It's definitely Pippi, but did anybody get that it was Cindy Almond?
Oh, no, I didn't.
That's Cindy. All right, number 18
Great.
was another little
Catwoman. Definitely Catwoman.
and it's Keela's.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, 19 was one who I said their face I could see as an adult.
I got enough.
Emma and Lou.
It is. It's Emma Shaw and her sister Lucy. She's pretty sure they're dressed as Heidi.
Very cute.
All right, 20. Our little relaxing clown. That's Robin. All right, number 21.
That's the one I guess was you.
Well, Vicky, her name is also Melissa, but it's not me. It's Melissa. Oh,
White Rabbit. The
I'm here.
Rabbit.
the White Rabbit. Oh, you are here.
I made it off work. Yeah.
Well done, Melissa. Yeah, that's got to be the White Rabbit. Alice in Wonderland's White Rabbit.
Yeah, I probably had the ears off because I was apple bobbing.
All right, 22. This is another sibling photo, and we were identifying one person. She is Supergirl.
I put
It's
Superwoman.
Baum.
Oh, yes, I see.
Okay, 23. Now, I hope this person's here because I'm not entirely sure what this costume is myself. Maddie.
I believe this is Belle Dandy from the anime Oh My Goddess.
All right, well done. All right, and 24.
Pagliacci.
It's so cute.
Carol.
Jen, yes. All right, and our final photo. Did anybody get who this is? I have a slight advantage because I know her in person. It's Christy.
It's Christy as the green-faced witch.
Yep, as the witch.
That's great. That's fantastic to see a little glimpse into everybody's past there.
Okay, did anybody correctly identify the person, not the character or costume? How many? Oh, Karen says she's got 10.
One.
Oh, identifying the costume. Okay. And 1, 2, if I count myself. Yeah. 6 people. Ooh, I see a lot of 3s. So that was my guess.
I got 1.
You got 1?
Yeah. Not very good.
Thank you, everybody who sent in photos. This was a really fun game to put together, I have to say. Okay, so we're going to throw it back over to Shar.
So what we're going to try to do is we're going to actually try to create a live spooky story. I'm going to throw out a prompt. We're going to go ahead and move forward with the story. I'll do the first one and then we're going to pass it. She saw the package neatly wrapped on the table. She rushed towards it and she saw her name on the card. She pulled the ribbon and tore through the paper. Couldn't help thinking what somebody else would say as she reached in and pulled it out. A tear came to her eye. She thought others would find it gruesome or odd, but she loved it the second she saw it.
The clown sprang out of the box, and she was crying happy tears because she always wanted one of those clowns ever since she saw one, since where she was a even smaller child on her bedroom door at Halloween night.
Now, some people liked to say that when you looked away from the clowns, they always ended up in a different position than when last you looked at them. But she didn't really put much stock in that. She was super excited and put it on the mantle, dead center of her living room. So thrilled to finally have found one of these clowns.
And then she took it home and held it and loved it and kept saying to herself, I have finally found you. You have been waiting for me to find you, and I have been waiting to find you, and we've been waiting to find each other, and I will never let you go. And then she started to take it apart to find what was inside the clown that was missing from her soul.
She thought, that's peculiar. This clown can speak in tongues. And yet, once she started ripping it apart to look for the soul of the clown, she heard a mysterious whistle. Once she looked around, she couldn't see anybody there. What could that whistle possibly be?
And we'll end it with a mystery. Yay, everybody. All right, we're going to do one more. Everyone ready?
Well, do people know the story? Am I just
No.
I figure okay.
No, it's just
we're winging it, man.
We're winging it.
In the moment, there was both a scream and a sudden shaking of the room. He held on to the chair to stop him from falling as his eyes darted back and forth. He didn't know where to look. And that's when he realized where the scream was from.
And suddenly there were ghosts all over the place. And a ghost was carrying a little girl through the room. And he was like, oh my God, what's this? Why this girl? And the girl keeps on screaming, help, help, a ghost got me.
Suddenly, everything stopped. There was just silence. But that strange, not just an absence of sound, but sort of the negativity of sound. Almost like she had gone deaf, but she started to walk around the room and could still hear her footsteps. So she opened the door. Speaking of the absence of sound.
Can you hear me? No, not a single thing, can you? I've embarrassed myself. And that's when
some unknowable Lovecraftian horror just came crashing down upon her, apparently.
Then pick it up and finish it.
You got it.
Well, I think that there was a calm that came over her as she realized that she was being irrational, that ghosts didn't exist. They couldn't possibly exist. And yet those footsteps got louder as she sat back in her chair, louder and louder. And she closed her eyes, not wanting to believe there could be anything there. And then they became so impossibly loud, she was forced to open her eyes. And very slowly, across the ceiling, she could see a hoof print, followed by another hoof print, followed by another hoof print, followed by another hoof print.
Awesome. Great story, everyone. Everyone ready? This is the part you've been waiting for. We're going to toss it to Mel, and Mel is going to run the Halloween parade.
So that was really fun. The story in the round, I like that, even though it was a little bit creepier than I was hoping for. I noticed that Anya kept trying to bring it back to a little bit more of a, Disney version of Halloween, and everybody else was like, nope. All right, so we're gonna do a quick fire costume parade because we've got a lot of people in very cool costumes. So what I'm gonna do is, if you're in a costume and your video is on, then that means you're fair game. We are going to, I think Apollo is in a costume.
Yeah, I'm Hinata from Haiku. I don't have a wig though, so my hair's not bright orange, but.
Nice. And we have Less Chatty Rose. I think Rose is a mime.
Yes.
Oh, broke. All right, hang on. I got to find these two people that go together. Okay, I got this person. And then I need, you changed your names. Okay, add to spotlight. There we go. Okay, who are you two?
I'm Wei Shen.
Hang on, June.
And we're costumes from The Untamed.
Chinese drama.
Good job. And next we are going to a deep nerd dive with Dr. Mordred.
Listen, I watched this for the first time 3 weeks ago, and then I was like, oh my God, this is just like one of the most earnest, like low budget fantasy films ever. And then I was like, well, I'm just going to become him then. So here I am. So they had to just be like, oh, it's not Doctor Strange, it's Dr. Mordred. And he still does all of the exact same things, but like, it's totally not that.
Yeah, totally not copyrighted.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, it's me.
Are you wearing prosthetics on your nose?
No.
It's just, it's all makeup?
Yeah, the face is all makeup.
Wow, very cool. Okay, Renee is in costume, I think.
Yes, hello. I am the other mother from Coraline, and I made this whole thing, and I've been working on it since August. And the last part of it that I finished was this during the last meeting.
Oh my gosh, that is insane.
I printed the fabric. It was just black fabric. I've been working on this for far too long.
Wow, that is very cool. Vicky and friend.
I am Vix, the wacky American aunt of Tix, the Norwegian representative at Eurovision this year. And this is my dog, Lix.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's jump in on Robin, who just took a drink. Perfect.
Well, it is kind of part of the costume because it's tree sap. I'm the Garden of Eden.
Oh,
And the sun.
wow. That is so creative. I love it. Okay. Nancy, I believe, is an artist.
Yes, I have my brush.
Very nice. Very creative. Here we go. Scorpio.
Yeah, so I'm Scorpio from Daddy Harry because the costume looked really cozy. And that was it.
And who plays Scorpio in Dirty Harry?
Oh, just some guy. Some guy. He seems okay.
For those who don't know, Andy Robinson plays.
Our beloved Andy.
Uncle Andy. Listen to Uncle Andy. Okay, Jen. Looks like she's had a rough time in the NHL.
Yeah, I'm a Bruins player.
All right. Missing a few teeth. Okay. All right. We've got someone with a full immersive costume here.
Funny enough, I've never actually seen The Walking Dead. I just really like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. And it's a really easy costume because the bat is 90% of it. But I've got the leather jacket and the scarf and yeah.
Outstanding. A creepy haunted doll.
Will you play with me?
No.
Yeah,
Will not.
that's basically it. Face paint and trying to look extra creepy.
Well done. You
That's all
nailed
there
it.
is to it.
Good job. All right. Colin, what are you?
I'm basically myself from an alternate timeline where I actually died. So I'm playing my own corpse, basically. That's what I am.
Oh yeah, that's not creepy at all. Okay, here's another creepy one. Tanya.
I'm just a girl.
Oh my gosh. Well done. Okay. We now have another DS9 representative.
Well, I suppose you can see by the name, I'm Esri Dax, and I want to come closer to show off my drill spots because I don't think you can see them from where I was sitting, and I'm very pleased with them.
Nicely done. All righty. On to page 2. And now for some more Star Trek. It's Lisa, who's freezing her butt off.
Totally freezing. I didn't have time to get my Halloween costume out, but I always have Star Trek uniforms around, so I'm mirror.
Nice. Oh, okay, go put on a jacket. Daria.
Some random astrologist in a costume that my mom made about a decade ago. Fancy with stars. Also, I have a very long hat. And my stars telling me that you are all awesome and I'm gonna have wonderful end of the year. My stars don't lie.
Oh, thank goodness. We all needed to hear that. Okay, next we have another seemingly inanimate object.
I'm a changeling that needs its beauty sleep.
Oh man, very creative stuff. All right. I think now see, I'm not sure if Gotham is actually dressed up or if it's just Friday.
A bit of both. So I am a very lazy witch with some makeup on, but mostly it's just this stupid hat, which I own for some reason.
So yeah, essentially it's just Friday.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Love it. Oh, here's one of the creepiest costumes of all. Student loans.
Yes, I'm an American millennial with 3 university degrees.
Alms for the poor.
I have PayPal if you'd like to donate.
Let's go to, oh, we've got a threefer. Here we go.
Okay. Hi,
I'm
Shay,
Vulcan.
and we are
Kira.
Mira, Kira, and regular Kira.
Very clever. I love it. Shay, very good Vulcan. Did you actually shave your eyebrows?
Yeah, I normally shave off the side of my eyebrow, so just worked out.
And made the ears.
Yeah, I
themselves,
made
too.
these.
Oh, wow. That's commitment. All right. Next, we're going to, speaking of commitment, it's a Crozaic. Okay, we can't really hear you, but you look amazing. Okay, let's go to.
I'm Quicksilver from the X-Men, or if you don't like the X-Men, I'm just a jacket potato.
Nice. I like it when it works on multiple levels. Now, this one's kind of freaking me out with how much she actually looks like Who are you, Jen?
I'm Mirror Universe Cruella DeVille. So instead of abducting 101 Dalmatians to make jackets, I adopt 101 Dalmatians and make them little adorable jackets.
Oh, I love it. Perfect. Debbie.
I am the greatest villain of all time, Debbie Jelinski Adams, complete with Malibu Barbie, which she murdered her parents over. And Joan Cusack deserved an Oscar for this role. I will die on that hill.
Oh man, that's another deep dive. Well done. All right, Valentina, are we?
Hello, I have a dress uniform from the Science Medical Division, as seen in the movies Nemesis and Insurrection. I have also a pug made by my friend from London. He did a 3D print and painted it for me.
Wow, cool. It looks like you're reading something for dummies.
Yes, it's Eddie Kim who never gets promoted. Yes, it's promotion for dummies.
Uh-huh. Very funny.
Thanks.
Amanda's next.
Hi, I'm San from Princess Mononoke, minus the face paint because it's a bit early.
Yes, it's a beautiful costume.
Thank you.
We will go to Leia, the meme.
Yes, I'm a meme. I just had cardboard left over from all the furniture I bought, so this is what happened.
That's creative. I like it.
And it changes.
Ooh.
Oops, and it breaks. Because it's breaking news, right?
Oh no, Yanina. Yanina is the queen of memes. Elmi.
Hi, I'm the mascot from the show that I'm obsessed with, Good Mythical Morning, and I made some feather color. I said cockatrice to Randy, and they misheard me.
As soon as you told me what you were going to be, I was like, how is this not going to happen? It had to happen. There was no way. All right, so the show is Good Mythical Morning, for those who missed that. Here we go, Jessica.
So I'm just a suburban witch, just making good things happen in the suburbs.
Just things you had laying around. All right, Mars.
Hi, I'm just glad to get a chance to wear this mask, this handmade cat mask I bought in Venice. Meow.
It's a beautiful mask. Okay, we're going over to, Savannah, but in space.
Yes, I am non-specific Star Trek person, therefore I'm just me in space. I guess that makes me a Starfleet computer technician, so I guess my should be yellow, but I wanted to be sciences, so I took some creative liberties.
I think it works. Savvy.
I am a Ouija board.
I can tell. That's creative.
And here's my little pointer thing if you want to ask questions.
Okay. No undue influence there at all. I think this is a repeat.
Yeah, I just pulled out the old doctor outfit again like I did last year. So
if it works, right?
I guess it works. So there you go.
Winnie Sanderson.
Gender bent, hocus pocus, but a glorious day.
I like it. Very creative. Okay. Evil Spock.
Hello there. I can't speak in the teeth. Yes, I am an evil Spock with my little evil pink tribble. Odd color, but it works.
I see that you have you got a little blood dripping down from your mouth. Have you just eaten lunch?
Yes, I've just eaten my tribbled friend. Quite tasty. Roast tribble on a stick.
Oh no, I had to ask. Nicely done. Nicely done. All right, did I miss anybody else?
Yeah, I am Grunkle Stan from Gravity Falls, great uncle to Mabel and Dipper, as well as the con man owner of the Mystery Shack.
Wow. And you even have a mask to complete the look. I see Susie has, I lost you, Susie.
Hi.
Here we go.
This is the easiest skeleton cosplay that you can possibly do. It's basically a hoodie.
All right. I see in the chat that some people don't know who I am. Who am I? I'm Rosie the Riveter. We can do it. You might recognize the poster. You might remember the poster from World War II when women had to go, stepped up to go work in the factories because the men were all overseas fighting. So that's who I am. Another very easy, grab something out of the closet and you're done. Okay, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you to everybody who came. Big thank you to Shar and Casey for putting this all together, and to everyone who presented.
I want to thank Alyssa, Patrick, Susie, Anya, and Christy, and Carl for putting in the time and meeting with us and then doing an excellent job. And Mel, thank you so much for trusting us on this one. We really appreciate it. Sid, you're the best. We wouldn't do this without you, of course. Big thanks to Casey, who we couldn't have done this without her. She is such a freaking amazing person. And thanks for giving me the chance to work with her, Mel.
I'm glad that you were able to connect and put this together. Casey is very, very cool.
Anyway, back to you, Mel. I actually have to go out and scare people right now. So scare you later.
Good luck. Sid is showing off his cast and crew t-shirt from Shantaram.
That's right. We just got this the other day when we left Bangkok. We're all wearing our cast and crew shirts. It's our gift. But it's something to look forward to next year. At least I think the show is looking pretty awesome. That's what I'm told. I'm not seeing any of it. But yeah.
Yay. That's some good news. Of course, I'm just thinking I went all the way to Thailand and all I got was this t-shirt.
Yes, that's probably true.
So thank you, everybody. Have a safe and happy Halloween this weekend.
Happy Halloween.
Happy
Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Halloween,
Indeed.
everybody.
Happy
Halloween.
Happy Halloween, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.